Hey, what's going on, chess lovers? This is Maurice Wisdom Bishop. I'm sorry, I just used my actual poetry name, Maurice Wisdom Bishop, but y'all already know Maurice Bishop, and y'all know my slogan: "Life is a game of chess." All right, guys. I don't know if a lot of y'all are up or whatever, but I want to give y'all my experience at in your training at Fort Stewart, Georgia, which is it's crazy. But uh, but yeah, guys. So obviously, I've been away to Fort Stewart, Georgia. You know what I mean, for really the month of June, and remind you guys, we were going to be living in barracks, and well, they was trying to plan on doing barracks, but it never actually happened. So we actually had to live in tents, pretty much outside, pretty much. Uh, the tent that we had from originally, it was supposed to be, we'll have like sleep tents and everything. We'll have, maybe three tents which can hold approximately maybe 30 something soldiers. Remind you, in our company, the soldiers that actually came to AT, we probably only had about maybe 47 soldiers in our unit, which was fine because we had three. Again, we had three tents. I mean, we actually had more tents than that though, but the brand new ones, which were easy to set up because you could set these tents up in like 10 minutes. We had those three. If we actually hold those three, or if we actually set up all three of those tents, you know, it literally will hold more than what we already had. So you're thinking one tent could fit 30, so yeah, almost 100 something soldiers or whatever. But we ain't had that many soldiers in our unit come to AT. We just had, I think it was at least 47. But anyway, uh, remind you the when we went to, or when we got to the unit, we had about uh again, still had a good amount of people there. But the thing is, everybody had to be there at like, I think like 06:30. For all y'all that don't know, military time at 6:30 in the morning. You know we we pretty much had to give everybody a COVID screening. You know, pretty much set that up. Taking soldiers' temperatures. Then we have a log sheet where we gotta log in. What their temperature was. They gotta put their name. Their phone number, their unit name, all of that, right? So we did all of that, and I had to feed them, or well, yeah, MREs. Pretty much feed them MREs. So you gotta think the bus ride was gonna be about I think it was like a 12 hours from, I think, from a GPS. I think it was like 12 hours. Uh, but yeah, so I mean, we did all that. We actually made our SP time, which was at 08, in which the bus was here at actually 07. The bus was here at 07, 7 in the morning, and you know, by that time we had everything. Everybody signed in. Everybody got the temperature check. I had all my supplies I needed to bring. And also minus the equipment and containers that we already got shipped off anyway. To the yard or to Fort Stewart already. So by the time we get there, the stuff was already there. Plus we had Advine or a trail party. What a lot of y'all may not know, we have like a few soldiers that leave earlier just to be there when the equipment gets there. Vehicles, containers, all of that, right? But the additional stuff that we brought to AT, we just put on a bus, right? So we get on there. We got on the bus, got all our equipment in, pretty much everything there, right? Uh, Instead of the bus taking 12 hours, it wound up taking like, I think the GPS said 10 hours, if I'm not mistaken. But regardless of that time, it was actually a 13-hour bus ride, 13-hour bus ride. We get up there pretty late. I think it was like maybe between 7 and 8 o'clock. You get your briefing and everything, let them know like what's going on. We first started in the barracks first. After that, the next day, that's when we actually got to the field. Obviously all our vehicles was already there. We do a convoy, where, soldiers get in the vehicles, lined up and all that, things like that, right? So we get lined up and everything, we drive to the field, and when I mean the field, I mean the field. It is like, I want to say middle of nowhere pretty much, but it's nothing but grass, trees, and yeah, you get your building. We had a building, but compared to other units, some units didn't even have buildings. They didn't even have showers. All they had was just a field and porta johns, and that was it. So they kind of had to live off of baby wipes or whatever. Fortunately, we were fortunate enough to, actually have a building where they had showers. But when we actually get there, this is the thing. When we actually get there and everything, again, like I told y'all, it's the middle of nowhere. It's hot as heck. I think it was like 99 degrees. Gnats everywhere, flies everywhere. Remind you like just an open field. So we had our tent. So we built our tents up pretty quick. Also got our cots, so we can, lay our head down. But then on top of that, all the soldiers had single soldiers tents. With the single soldiers tent, you pretty much build it on top of the cot. So it's kind of like you have a tent, but when you get in a tent, you have the cot right there. So it's like you go in a tent, but you're not like on the ground because you have the cot there. So you just pretty much go in and you can lay down and all that other good stuff, which was actually pretty great. Actually, you didn't have to be on the ground or the grass or whatever. I preferably, wanted to be on the cot because you being on the ground and stuff. Again, there's ants, there's roaches. Yes, roaches. Yes, roaches, red ants. Things like that. Also, I mean, they did had in the field they did have like some concrete, which was like spaced out. They had some concrete. So in the beginning, we put our cots on the concrete. Yes, it still ends over there, but it's not as much as if you was on the grass because some part of the grass you don't know where the anthill is at unless you really pay attention to it. All right, but man, it's hot, bugs everywhere. The bathrooms had no toilet paper, no hand soap. Uh, there's spiders everywhere. Like the toilet looked like it hasn't been cleaned in like years. Like it looked like a jail cell pretty much. And the crazy part about it is with the toilet stalls didn't have no doors, didn't have no curtains. So it's like if you're gonna take a dump or whatever, somebody could walk in and they'll just see you taking a dump. It's literally like that. And for people that gotta take a dump when you really gotta go, you kind of really ain't got no choice. But the thing about that is, if you really had to take a dump, it's like you're pretty much going to be picky of which toilet to choose because you have some toilets where it's full of, oh man, it's just full of poop, man. It's just full of nasty stuff, man. It's just nasty. And then on the like the wall parts, man, you had spider webs, you had spiders, uh, that's right there. I mean, like yo, it's just nasty. Then you have trash like on the floor. It wasn't even. I think you had trash can, but it wasn't no trash bag. Nobody didn't have no trash bag, no hand soap. So just imagine people going in and out of that bathroom, and all you're doing is just washing your hands with water, but no soap. Yes. But the crazy part is, before this whole AT happened, you normally get briefed. They tell you like, hey, I mean, they don't really tell you what to bring, but common sense, you're in a field, you kind of expect the worst. At least I expect the worst. So I pretty much brought everything. I brought toilet papers. I brought bleach. I brought the sanitizing spray and everything. Water coolers, ice sheets. Sunscreen. All office supplies. I pretty much brought everything with me. It got to the point where the units that were there, they didn't have toilet paper. It probably was like maybe one unit that had like toilet paper, but they only had 6 rolls. And you got to think, you're there for a minute. 6 rolls can be gone like it could be gone very quick, if you get what I'm saying. So I had like 1,000. I think I had like 1,000 rolls or whatever, things like that. So I mean, I had a lot of toilet paper or whatever. But look at this though. Like, in spite of me having these a lot of rolls, I lie to you not. We had like 4 bathrooms, meaning that you had two. I think it was two for men, and then you had two for the women. So you had that, or if is it 6? It probably was 6. 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. No, I think it was 4. I think it was 4 bathrooms, if I'm not mistaken. So 2 for men's and 2 for the women. So what I did is, because nobody had toilet paper, I actually put toilet paper in each of those bathrooms, as well as hand soap. Do you know, within like 20 to 30 minutes, all the toilet paper were gone? Yes, all the toilet paper was gone. It even got so bad that the bathrooms were so it got stuck, like it got stuffed up with a whole bunch of nasty stuff, like to the point when you turn on the shower, all the brown stuff start coming out of it. They actually had to close all the bathrooms. So people that needed to go to the bathroom, like I guess you're going out in the woods somewhere. I don't really know, but all I know is they at that time they already knew who I was, because they saw how our tents was made. They saw that we had. I mean, obviously everybody had cots, but they saw that we had ice sheets, we had water coolers. I mean, we had a lot of water gallons. We had. I mean, we literally had everything and whatever. And units were coming to me, asking, can we issue this out and stuff. And a lot of times I couldn't issue it out because I only brought it enough for my company. But I think we wound up negotiating. We wound up, helping them out, issuing, some things that they actually needed. It even got to the point that even brigade didn't even have certain things. Like, they didn't have paper clips. And they was running out of copy paper, and I had copy paper because they could still print and everything, but they needed paper. So I had copy papers. I had, again, I had all the cleaning supplies, which was crazy. Like, none of them had that stuff. But when they shut down the bathrooms, and one, I think it was like, I want to say like a weekend, they closed down the bathrooms because it was stuff that they needed to do maintenance, so nobody could use the bathroom. And they actually had a guard there. I want to say security, to make sure nobody go in the bathroom, because they was trying to do maintenance on all of them, right? So because they knew who I was, they wound up going in one of the buildings, which one of the buildings is pretty much the buildings where I had all my supplies at and everything. But I also had, my battalion that was there, that they slept there in a building. So it's kind of funny. Y'all probably like, man, they sleeping in the building, but we sleeping outside. But the thing is, it wasn't. Maybe you could say the building was a lot more comfortable for them. For me, I ain't gonna lie to y'all. I didn't really sleep since I was there. I rarely slept at all. I probably had, throughout the whole time, I probably had maybe 2 to 3 hours of sleep, if that, if that. You know what I mean? Since I was there, so to me it was uncomfortable because at night it was hot, but there were some nights where it was kind of cool, so it was a little bit comfortable. But majority of the time, I didn't sleep, especially because you had soldiers that had guard duty, they had gate duty, they had talk duty. So you can hear a few soldiers, getting up. My bad, guys. You can see a couple soldiers getting up, and like you're just hearing them, getting their stuff together, their phones going off. And then you had some people in the soldiers, like, they snore loud as heck. Like, they snore. Like, you would be like, what the heck is that? Like, they just snore like crazy. So, yeah, I didn't, like, you wouldn't even think, like, when you sleep outside, like, you want to hear too much snoring. But, man, when they sleep, man. And they snore loud as heck, man. You know, it's a good amount of them, man. It's just crazy though. But yeah, so when they closed down the bathrooms and everything, they knew where my building was at, and yeah, they wound up taking all my toilet paper, literally all my toilet paper. So I was empty. So I wound up having to go to this building called Mayor Cell, where they did have additional toilet papers or whatever, things like that. But that's pretty much all they had. All they had was paper towels and toilet paper. So I actually got extras from there. And what I did is I pretty much had that thing locked. So remind you, all of my supplies were locked. Like I had a lock and a key. As far as the toilet paper, it wasn't like I could put a whole case of toilet paper because it is a big box. So it's not like I could really lock it anywhere, you know. But this time I had these boxes like in a container where I actually had to go and take it or put it in a container. And then when the time was over, or when people needed more toilet paper, I could go out to the quiet cons, you know, get a few toilet paper out, you know, whatever amount that I needed, and I'll leave some on the side. So if anybody wanted some, then they can just go get it, you know, with me there. Or if I had like some of my assistants there with me, which I did get help, you know. So but yeah, so that's how I got more toilet paper. But yeah, it was brutal though. Like, you know, for that whole night, you know, nobody couldn't use the bathroom. So if you had to pee, I guess you either had to go in the woods and pee, or you had to do something, which was crazy. Uh, the crazy part, guys, is the bathrooms itself. Like I told y'all before, it was just nasty, man. It was just really nasty. Even the showers. I told y'all about the toilets and everything, but the showers were even more nastier, man. You had bottles, I guess body wash bottles, you know, on the floor. You know, it was trash in the showers. It was again, you had some bugs in the showers, which was crazy. Everything was rusted. It was so dirty that they even had a bench, like a bench that was in the shower or whatever, where you can, like, before you take a shower, you know, put your belongings there and stuff. It was so bad that I didn't even want to put my stuff down. Like, it was that bad. Like, I didn't want to put none of my stuff on the bench at all, man. It was bad. But it's like you kind of really didn't have a choice because it was just horrible, guys. You know, I'm telling you guys, it was just horrible, man. But like, you know, and the heat itself, you know, a lot of times you'll take a shower, but by the time you come out, you feel good. But then when you go into sleep or whatever, it's hot and you're sweating again, and you're having to take another shower. The crazy part is, guys, you got soldiers that's in the field, that some that didn't even take a shower, man. Like, they wasn't taking showers at all, man, which was like crazy. Like, they wasn't taking no showers. They were, like, you know, being dirty and everything. And honestly, I don't know how you can go to the field and not take a shower, regardless of how nasty the showers may be, regardless of how, you know, hot it is or how unbearable, you know, the place may be. But like, you know, wipes is not, baby wipes is just not gonna help. I think, to me, in the field, especially when it's hot, baby wipes make it worse. You know what I mean? You know, you dirty, you sweating, you know, you spraying yourself with bug spray or whatever, and then, you know, you like, oh, I don't feel like taking a shower, I'm gonna just use baby wipes. To me, that's gonna make your body stink even worse, like, to me, in my opinion. So regardless of how you feel, man, you gotta somehow take a shower. You just got to. Yeah, but yes, you had some soldiers that didn't take a shower, which was nasty. I think it's the nastiest thing ever. You know, even females, man. And most people would think like it's the dudes that ain't take a shower, but man, it's some females that's like they'll smell too, which is bad. Um, the crazy part is our unit had a detail where we actually had to clean up all the bathrooms. And out of all those bathrooms, between the men and the women were the worst bathrooms to clean. It was the worst. Tampons on the floor, you know, tampons in the shower, you know, I mean, trash everywhere. You would think it was like the men's bathroom, but it wasn't. It was the women, and they were the worst. The worst. I never thought I can honestly say this, but the women had the worst bathrooms, man. nasty, 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 guys. Like it's yo, I don't even know what to say with that, man. And then they had a I call it a horse spider, man. The horse spider. It was big as heck, man. But you had some people that love nature, love animal. They like, don't kill it. You know, I mean, it ain't do nothing to you. And I'm like, man, forget that. Like, for y'all that want to know what was there, I mean, you had horse spiders, you had scorpions, you had some snakes around, you had some armadillos, you know, you had red ants, you know, black ants, you had, I mean, gnats, mosquitoes. I don't know about mosquitoes. I haven't really seen too much mosquitoes, but the gnats and the flies were just, it was just horrible, man. It was just so horrible. And we wound up getting these fly traps for the tent that you can pin up, you know, to the walls and stuff. And literally, man, I think like 15 minutes and everything is like the fly traps are all filled up. Like literally, like all filled up with flies, which is just like it's just crazy, man. Oh, what up, Donald, man? Yeah, no showers on. Yeah, no showers on the heat. Yeah, man. Yeah, man. Yeah, man. You gotta showers like that, like in the heat like that, 99 degrees and stuff, like where it's like hot and even hot at night, you know, it just bad, guys. It just bad. Um, but yeah, you had that. Uh, you said you said that I get an award for bringing toilet paper and clean. so so it wasn't. All right. So yes, I did get an award, but it wasn't. It wasn't all just because of. And I know I said it in a video, but it wasn't just that though. It wasn't just because I supplied for the whole brigade with not just cleaning supplies and everything, but also um, I was actually helping other supplies. Well, be honest with you, it was only one actual supply sergeant that I met there, which she was pretty cool and everything, but um I got the award because not only did I supply for the whole brigade, but you know I was actually networking with other people. I was making things happen. You know, I was you know negotiating with other units, like the stuff that they needed. You know, but I had a good strong first sergeant who was really great, man. Probably one of the best first sergeants I've ever had in my whole military career. A very strong first sergeant. You know, he had the experience. You know, so me and him, we worked together like just fine. It was just literally, guys, it was just perfect and everything. Also, my thing is because I rarely slept or whatever, it was times where you know you'll have the OCTs. For all y'all that don't know, they're the ones that's like watching like missions. You know, they're evaluating certain things that the other units are doing and stuff. And they will actually come in and see if they can get ice. And because I rarely slept or whatever, like the first thing in the morning, I think they came at like 4 in the morning, between 4 or 5 in the morning. By that time, I was already up, you know, like chilling. So anytime they needed something, I was there. I gave them what they needed, you know, or I'll notify some of the medics, let them know like, hey, they're getting this stuff, you know. But the medics were up too. The medics work hard as heck, man. Medics are probably one of the hardest working soldiers I ever seen in my life, man, because they too rarely sleep either, you know, and because I'm supplied, because I rarely slept, you know, anything that they needed, I had. There were times where, you know, I was getting ice for, because we had an ice truck, and that was something that they did had to have at the training. You had to have an ice truck where, you know, if you had to put ice in the coolers, ice in your water buffaloes, because we had that where other companies could get water, you know, and then you put some ice in the water buffaloes as well, you know, so and then there were times that you have to clean the water buffalo as well because after a while, you know, with the heat and everything, you know, it gets bad. So you gotta clean the water buffalo as well. But yeah, but yeah, so me, but I think the biggest thing is it's not just supplying toilet paper, but I think it was the biggest stuff that the unit actually needed, and that was ice sheets. And the reason why I say that, because we had about maybe 15, 20 heat casualties there, where they had to get picked up from a chopper, the helicopter and everything. Um, but and none of it happened in our unit though, which is the crazy part. There were no heat casualties in our company, but there were heat casualties under like under our brigade, like in other units and stuff, which was pretty bad. You had some that wasn't eating or whatever because at the time all they was eating was MREs. But you did had a hot meal, but the hot meal wasn't that great either. So a lot of times they weren't eating. It's hot. Maybe someone's not drinking water and they pass out. You had some people that had some medical conditions or whatever, and they passed out, and they got to go to the hospital. So we had about like 15, 20 out of the whole time we were there. So it was pretty crazy. Um, the crazy part is with the ice sheets and the sunscreens and all that. Believe it or not, before we even left to go to AT, the stuff that I had requested, it was discontinued. So even on the site, it was they said it was available, but when I called the vendors, they said that it was discontinued. So I pretty much had to negotiate and push to see if they can get these orders in, as soon as possible, to actually make a way where they can use another vendor in order to give me these equipment before our unit rolls out to Fort Stewart. And I wound up getting that within 2 days. Literally within 2 days. Most people that are lazy, that don't care, they'll just give up, be like, oh, damn, got it, just continue. It's short notice, nothing that we can do. A lot of people say I care too much or whatever, but it's a great thing, though. I think I had to do that, though, because if we would have never had those ice sheets, if we would have never had those coolers, if we would have never had those sunscreen, our unit probably would have suffered as well. So it would have been, it could have went crazy. We probably would have had more heat casualties, if it didn't happen. But I made it happen. We got it in. I had all my ice sheets, all the coolers. I had all that. So if I didn't had brought all that stuff in, we probably would have had more casualties. The way I look at it. Even and it's not even just that, guys. I wasn't just in charge of all the supplies, but you also have to think of the stuff that I had to do before getting up there. I had to coordinate the transportation to pick up our equipment and to make sure that it got over to Fort Stewart. And then going back, I had to make sure that all the equipment came back from Fort Stewart to our home station. On top of that, I had to make sure all the buses were there. So I coordinated all the buses getting up there, like taking us up there on time, and then coordinated the buses to meet us at Fort Stewart just to take us home. So I did all that, so it's not just supplies. It's a lot of paperwork and a lot of negotiating and things that I had to do, like a lot of logistical planning that I had to do in order to make sure everything was right. So it wasn't just me just applying for supplies, but it's pretty much this whole exercise, getting the buses here on time, getting the ITOs picking up our containers, our vehicles, getting it over there, and none of our stuff got damaged, which was also great, So yeah, man, it's a lot of things that go with it. So of course a lot of times I wasn't sleeping. A lot of times I always had other things on my mind, like other things I could do, other things that I just need to think about, during this exercise. So there's a lot of things that I was planning and thinking about. Another crazy thing is remind you guys, we had a few of us there. Like we had me, my first sergeant, my maintenance NCO, and a few TPU soldiers, around, because like I said, we were like the crew that we were like the night owls, staying up late and everything, right? Remind you, we probably didn't even go to sleep until, I can't really say go to sleep, but pretty much for me laying down. But as far as like going in our cots and everything, we probably didn't get to that till like maybe two or 2:30 in the morning and whatever. And this was like every day, guy. And then within what, 3 hours. You wake up at 06 every day. You know what I mean? So you thinking only like 4 hours or whatever, but for me it wasn't like that. Mine was like literally like 2 hours. I was only getting 2 hours of sleep. But anyway, after we done talking, we had some of us needed to take showers. I had already took a shower because I took it as soon as our duties was over. Our duties was never really over, but you kind of make time to just hurry up and go take a shower. So I did that in the beginning. After the dinner chow, I went straight up take a shower. Right. So at night, this was had to be one something in the morning. We're still up, still talking. We go around the tent, and I'm still talking to one of the soldiers, about careers and everything, about finances. We're just talking about like some real life stuff. So while everybody else is in the shower, we had one person that was there that was like, I guess getting stuff out of his bag. But then like 5 minutes he left. Remind you, we have a guide on. We have a guide on that stayed out. We stuck it to the ground, and usually everybody has the guide ons to let you know what company this is. So you use the guide on, which is pretty much a staff with a flag. Pretty much that's all it is, a staff with a flag, and you put that there. So like, if somebody say, "Hey, you need to talk to HAC 485th," then they'll know like, oh, okay, this is agency 485th or another unit, 377th or 130th, whatever the case is. You have that guide on. People will get a chance to notify who that company is. So that's what that's there for. But also it's there for because that's your company. You rep it. There's a lot of history behind that flag. So that's what happened, right? So we had it like right in front of the tent. Remind you, we didn't even leave the tent. Like I was like on the side of the tent. Like I said, everybody, they went to take a shower, whatever, things like that. As soon as I was done talking to the soldier or whatever, I probably laid my head down for 5 seconds. And all I heard from my first sergeant, "Where's the guide on?" Where's the guide on? So we get up and everything. We searching around. Our guide on is stolen and whatever. And I remind you, at this time, it's probably like 1:30. It's 1:30 in the morning or whatever, and we're like going around searching for the guide on. Um, we had obviously our sergeant major, our command sergeant major got notified. Um, our XO got notified and everything, so they all came out, trying to find it. But I mean, I don't know if they were searching it for maybe 30 minutes to an hour, but that probably was about it. Me, my first sergeant, and my maintenance NCO, and one of his maintenance NCOIC, we pretty much stayed up searching for that thing. And we searched the whole field, like the whole field and everything, the bathrooms, the storage areas and everything, which looked like a paranormal activity type of room. Like it just looks creepy as heck. However, we did see that there was a gate where, even though it's locked, it has barbed wires on top, but there is a gate where it's easy for you to climb up in the middle and go through it. So our thinking was, we were thinking that, maybe somebody could have just, went through that gate, climb, cause we actually tried to see if we can get through it. I could easily get through it with no problem. Literally 10 seconds, I could climb on that thing, 2 seconds, and then get through that thing with no problem. It's like easy, right? So that's what we was thinking. But little did we know that whoever stole ours stole the brigade guide on as well, which was crazy. And then they stole another guide on from somebody else, from another unit. Uh, to this day, we never found that guide on at all. It was lost. Like it was somebody stole it. We never got it back. I think with the other company, the only thing they found was a staff, but they didn't find their flag. So I don't know if they were mad because of where they were at, or they was just using it as a, well, we're gonna make this fun. We're just gonna steal other people's guidons and then have it as a trophy or whatever, as a list of companies we attack. So maybe we're thinking that's what that was. But yeah, that's pretty much what happened. We never found it. We wanted to get revenge. We definitely wanted to get revenge. I I wanted to get revenge. I was kind of mad about the situation and everything. You know, even though I stay up, I don't really sleep and stuff. But I sure enough didn't want to keep walking around trying to search for something that was ours or whatever, for something that the other units did, stole and stuff. So I didn't want to do that, but I did anyway, and all of us pretty much did. Um, but yeah, yeah, it was pretty crazy. Never found that thing. I mean, I personally know I searched everywhere through that file, and so did everybody else. But I know I personally, when I was searching for that thing. I was searching for all the places that people wouldn't even look at. You know what I mean? And I found nothing. I was like, man, that thing is gone. Like, ain't no way we're not getting that back at all. So it's just crazy. But but yeah, my first sergeant was pissed. I was pissed. Nothing that we can do. You know, um, we literally left at AT like with no guide on, pretty much. But we do have an extra one, which is good. I mean, we do have an extra one, but the fact that somebody just stole it, like that was kind of crazy. But the crazy part is, like, I was up, we had people up and everything. The fact that the way they stole it, I already know that they was watching us. And I think, to me, to be honest with you, I think they was watching us for a minute. Like, they've been watching us for a few days, probably, trying to figure out when we'll go to sleep or whatever. And we didn't. Honestly, we rarely, I mean, I know I didn't go to sleep, so it would be easy for me to spot somebody. But this time, I didn't spot them this time. And I think the only difference is, um, even though I didn't go to sleep, I went to the cot earlier than what I usually would have went. I usually go to my cot maybe like 2 or 3, like probably 2:30 to 3 in the morning. Things like that. But this was the one time that I actually went to the cot early. I went to the cot at like 1 in the morning. But I mean, at yeah, it was like 1 in the morning or whatever. But I was just there talking. But I think somebody was watching. They came over. Maybe was hiding on the side of the tent, and then when they took the guide on, they went to the blind part, away from everybody else, and then probably ran in between the buildings. A lot of us think it's an inside job, things like that. But which we all think like that, because you also have a gate. Because in order to get to the fob, you got to get to the gate. Uh, how the ironic part is, the person that was at the gate pretty much said there was some suspicious activity. One person went to the bathroom and came out in like I think like 2 minutes or whatever, and which kind of was odd, because if you already know, if you go to the bathroom, either you're gonna go take a piss, you're gonna maybe take a shower or whatever. You're gonna do one of those natures, but it's not gonna take you 2 minutes just to. Uh, it's gonna take you longer or whatever. I mean, it's definitely gonna take you longer, but it was kind of quick. So it almost seems like, from the way he described it, it's like he went in the bathroom and then immediately came back out. So and then the thing is, they said the unit's name, but I guess they said what unit you're from, so they gave the unit name, but they didn't get their names of other people that went through the gate, which was how ironic is that. It's like you had all this information, but you didn't get the name of the soldiers. Um, which I think that was again, seems like an inside job. Seems like, I mean, I don't know. But our company, we was pretty much well known in that field. Like, we was the one that had everything. We had everything that everybody needed. We was pretty squared away. We I mean, we was just very knowledgeable, very experienced. My first sergeant was proud. I mean, I ain't gonna lie, he made it fun. He definitely made it fun. You know, a lot of hard work. Yes, it was tiring, but he made it do what it do and everything. Would I ever want to go back? No. I don't want to go back there again. Nope, I don't want to go back there. However, did I have some fun times? Yes, I had some fun times. I mean, I could look back and laugh at it or whatever, but yeah, it was pretty cool. Sorry about that. I got this light system where if you don't move at all, then your the light will turn off automatically. But yeah, guys. but yeah, I mean that's pretty much how my experience there went. Um, yeah, I mean we never went off base. We pretty much stayed there the whole time. They did had a PX truck, which was like a whole trailer, which was like a trailer store, I guess you could call it. So you had your essentials, they had like soap if you needed it, wipes. They had sodas, Gatorades, little snacks, cigarettes, cigars. They had those things in the truck. So they pretty much didn't open until like maybe like I want to say like maybe 1 or 2 o'clock or whatever, I think. And then they closed at like maybe 5, maybe. I think that's what that was. But I think that was the only thing that they had, you know. I mean, they didn't really have too much, but I mean, you make it do what it do. You know what I mean? So, but other than that, though, I mean, like I said, a miserable experience, but at the same time, we made the best of it. It was hard work, tiring, very uncomfortable because, like I told you before, I rarely slept. A lot of bugs. It seems like the more off you spray on, it seems like the more bugs seems to attract to you and stuff. So after a while, I stopped using the bug or the off spray. We had field mouse, running around and stuff, which was like crazy. Um, but the biggest thing, man, these spiders, man, it was a lot of spiders. I'm gonna tell you that. You had a lot of spiders, and I mean big spiders too, horse spiders. They're thick, man, like crazy. So that was the part like I didn't like at all, man. The spiders, you know, I mean, I'm not like so scared to the point where I'm gonna run away from the spider. Nothing, it's nothing like that, but still, man, it's just you don't want this stuff getting in your tent. You don't want this stuff getting in your bags. That's why the stuff that I had a tough box. So while everybody was having rucksacks and bags and everything, I prepared myself by bringing a tough box that had wheels on it. So I could fit everything in there. My assault pack, my rucksack, my sleeping bag, all my hygiene stuff. I could fit everything inside of my box and everything. And I had a lock and a key with it. The box itself came with a lock because it had a keyhole. So it was like triple lock. There was no way you was getting in that box. So I always had that. Everything was locked up, and no bugs could get in there. There's no way for the bugs to get in that. So that's what I had, and I didn't have to worry about nobody stealing my stuff. Because again, I was pretty organized when it came to after I was done, I had my laundry bag. If I had dirty clothes, put it in that bag. What I mean, wrap that joint up so nothing would be smelling. Because again, we didn't have laundry service too. That's another thing. We didn't have no laundry service at all. So it wasn't like, if your stuff was dirty, you could go in a washing machine. Nah, we didn't have none of that stuff. No laundry service. Um, yeah, guys, we didn't have none of that. So um, what did you have to do? They always tell you to bring extra uniforms, and that's pretty much what we did. So I brought extra uniforms as much as possible. Either I would have to wear the same uniform for like maybe a week, and then another one for the next week, and then if I knew that I didn't have to work as hard or move around as much, then I'll put on the clean uniform. But just making sure that my stuff didn't get dirty, because after a while, if it gets dirty, it starts smelling. You don't want that. And if you came out the shower with a dry towel, you don't want to put it in a box. You want to hang it up so that you won't get that stench or whatever, things like that. For all y'all that never been in the field, if you've ever been in the field and you take a shower and you drying yourself off with a dry towel and everything, you don't want to put it in a box. You want to hang it up so it could dry out, let the heat get it, so that when you put it back in a box, it won't give you that awful smell. So just to let y'all know a little hint. but but yeah, guys, that was my experience, at AT. Definitely crazy. I'm not gonna get into people that try to piss you off and everything. Because yes, unlike every other field, you do get soldiers or NCO, people that get on your nerves and people that you just want to fight in the field, and you know what I mean. But Other than that though, it was a good AT. It was pretty it was straight and everything. The good thing about it is after like literally the last day, in which actually scheduled the bus to come at 1 in the morning. Scheduled the bus to come at on the last day. So remind you, so you're thinking on Friday. So Friday at midnight. So really going into Saturday, I had already scheduled the bus to come at 1 in the morning. So obviously I already let everybody know it's been approved. Everything is good. Bus come at, and believe it or not, the bus didn't even come at 1 in the morning. The bus came early. The bus came at 12:30 in the morning. 12:30 in the morning. Yes, 12:30 in the morning, guys. Or I think 12:20 in the morning. Came at 12:20 in the morning. I notified my first sergeant, notified everybody, hey, the bus is here. Or they're pretty much there and stuff. So I guide them through to let them know. I had my flashlight, the blinking light, which is very, very bright. So at a long distance, you can see it. So the bus saw me instantly with no problem. Once I did that, because I requested 3 buses because during this whole COVID thing, you had to have at least 15. I think it was 15 soldiers per pack or whatever, or 25 per pack. It was like one of those. But because we didn't really have that many soldiers, it was a lot of room. So every soldier had a seat for themselves, which was the great part. Every soldier had a seat for themselves, So you didn't have to sit next to nobody. So which was great. So so yeah, so so 12:20 because I scheduled the bus for it to be there at 1 in the morning, but they came at 12:20. Let everybody know. I already had my stuff staged so that when the bus came, I can start wheeling everything up inside of the bus and things like that. So yeah, so everybody was happy about that because it was a long AT training, long, hot, unbearable, things like that. Everybody was happy that, oh man, yo, we got the bus headed early. So, needless to say, these people were running to the bus, couldn't wait to go home. But even on the way back, remind you, it took us 13 hours just to get up to Fort Stewart, Georgia. But going back home, it took 16 hours. One, because there was an accident on a road, so the bus drivers kept doing detours. And then on top of that, they got lost. So yeah, so which made it longer. And then on top of that, we had I think we stopped too many times too, as well. One of the stops were like 45 minute stop. It was like a 45 minute wait. We stopped. They went to eat and everything, things like that. So that took up majority of the time. So when it came down to it, it was pretty long. So it was like 16 hours and everything. Uh, yeah. But other than that, guys, we got there safely. Like I said, before we even left, for all y'all know, I got an award for annual training. You know, um, they pretty much call our names up, information and everything. I go up or whatever. You got to salute. To the sergeant major. Things like that. They give you the award and whatever, and it was pretty good. Then I had to give a speech and all that, which I gave my speech. Pretty much thanking everybody for their hard work and for everybody that assisted me and everything. It was awesome. But that was pretty much about it. I kept it short and sweet and everything, and it was pretty much good. But yeah, we got home safely, and I think once everybody signed their orders, they was free to go home, and that was pretty much about it. So yeah, guys, pretty crazy. Definitely a different experience at this AT. I never had an AT like this one. Definitely crazy. But yeah, guys, hope y'all enjoyed this video. Like I said, I'm gonna have more videos coming. I did told y'all yesterday that I was gonna be on leave. I'm actually am supposed to be on leave today, but I didn't get a signed control number, in which I'm actually about to go upstairs now to see what's actually going on with that. But as of now, guys, thank y'all for watching and everything. For all y'all that's been supporting me, thanks for supporting me. I really appreciate y'all. And peace.